Can we start? Okay. Okay, well, today I will talk about Talcott Parson. Talcott Parson is in your syllabus, and Talcott Parson is a very well known sociologist which who that's why I will like to speak on Talcott Parson, and it is there in the syllabus also. You can see that Talcott Parson, one of the most known sociologists after Karl Marx, Durkheim, and Weber. Okay, so let me start. He is the best known sociologist in United States and indeed the best known in the world, and he has a general theoretical system and analyzed the society, and which was known as structural functionalism. He was very much influenced by constructs of Weber and Durkheim, but he also acknowledged Marx as a great thinker, and he remained firmly in the what social science has to say in the 19th century. So he was very clear that what he is speaking about. On the main target of Parsons' criticism was utilitarianism and involves the ideas of people's action follow fundamentally practical objectives, and that human mind is essentially a mechanism for calculating the most effective way to get most rewarding results. So he was speaking about the scientific scheme, and as per the syllabus of UPSC, you have something called Parsons' social system. So Parsons' concept of social system is developed in the nature of a general sociological theory which can be applied for the study of both primitive and the complex societies. Parsons' theory as from the level of action to the social system. His conceptual scheme is provided to analyze the structure and processes of the social system. So he understood the processes of social system. Parson formulates his approach to social system through his theory of social action, which is an intrinsic element of social system. Parsons' own approach to social system is integrative in nature, since he has not only brought out a significant motivational factor, such as those presented utilitarian perspective in formation of the system, but also emphasizes on values. Action, according to Parson, does not take in isolation. It is empirically discrete but occurs in constellation which constitute a system. The concept of action, according to Parson, is derived from the behavior of a human being as a living organism. As living organisms, they interact with outside reality as well as in their own mind. So, what for him is behavior? Behavior becomes action in four conditions. It is oriented towards attainment of goal. It occurs in a situation. It is regulated by norms and values of the society and the energy or motivation of an effort. When behavior is defined in this analytical context, it is defined as action. I have given an example also because I share the slides. You can go through the example. Parsons' term of social system is made up of cultural elements and the personalities. The social system and culture interpenetrates because of institutionalized in a form. In one sense, a social system is a pattern of institutionalized culture. It is a set of rules and requirements which does not accept as defining how people should act and relate to one another. Just as highway code is ambiguous, accepted or saying how drivers should handle their vehicle, and communicate with and respect to drivers of other vehicles. The connection between social system and the personality is internalization. Basic unit of organization of social system. The social system has a mode of organization of an action which is called as a rule. It is a basic conceptual unit of a social system and it incorporates the individual actor's total system action. It also points intersection between system of action of an individual actor and a social system. The primary element of rule according to Parson is rule expectation. It implies say reciprocity between the actor and his alter and is governed by the range of motivational and value orientation. The organization of unit acts into social system involves the motives and values which link it to the personality systems in the first case and to the cultural system in the second. Orientation of action can be divided into motivational orientation and value orientation. Motivational orientation refers to a situation in which the action takes place into the account needs, external appearance and plans. Value orientation is considered as standard of values, aesthetics, morality and thinking. So what is motivational orientation, students? It can be understood in three ways. You can read the example also. They are cognitive orientations, catholic orientation and evaluative. Cognitive is around your environment. Catholic is your emotional orientation. Evaluative, your assessment, your efforts. And the range of value orientation also comprises of a cognitive, that is how do you judge, appreciative, how do you respond to your emotional response, and moral oriented value, commitment towards the actor. So I have given example in the next slide which you can read. Institutionalization of roles in social system. In a social system, roles are institutionalized. Institutionalized means expectations of a specific role, its values and motivational orientation, and integrated with the culture of the society. Society sets common standards for role expectations for its members, which an actor imbibes these standards common to society in orientation and performance of his or her roles. To examine the choices of an actor available to the individual in the system, Parson has developed a pattern variable. Role of being the most vital element of social system. Its performance generates force from strain or tension. To extent the strain depends upon the way of role expectations are institutionalized in the society and the degree to which the value of role are internalized by the social system. For example, in a situation which requires an actor to choose between universalistic values and particularistic values, the actor may choose only one. So what is a pattern variable, which is in the syllabus of UPSC also as a rule of pattern Parsons discussion? It is effectivity and effective neutrality, self-orientation versus collective orientation, universalism versus particularism, ascription versus achievement, and specific versus diffuseness. We need to know this in detail because pattern variables are important from exam point of view. What is effectivity and effective neutrality? The dilemma here is deciding whether one expresses their orientation in terms immediate gratification effectivity or whether they renounce immediate gratification in favor of moral interest. There is a immediate expression of the values or whether when their work is fulfilled, Parson says no actor can subsist without gratification, which is sometimes no action system can be organized and integrated without the reunion of the some gratification which is available in a given situation. Self-orientation versus collective orientation. The main issue is that the moral standard in a procedural narration, the moral standard arises from the fact that actor has to make good choices of his gratification and detrimental from the good and the large number of people a collectivity. Some form of altruistic and self-sacrifice is included. The dilemma of pattern variable has always been present in human life from primitive mode of society to modern. The notion of socialistic society offers a good example of the social system, and the institutions are based on dominant choice. And dominant choice by Parson rightly pointed out, institutionalization of such values are also always fragile. So universalism and particularism, that whether it is for the universe or it is for the particularistic nature, defines the role of the actor's dilemma between cognitive and cathartic. Example you can read. I have given an example so that okay. And ascription and achieved status. Dilemma of ascription. Ascription is by birth and achievement is by merit. By merit, that how you achieve a particular merit. That is also a dilemma in birth, age, sex, kinship. Achievement is personal acquisition which you take place. Specificity and decisiveness is variable of role performance, social interaction, buyers of the market, and the diffuseness. Some examples like some role relationships are very general and compromising in nature is an example of diffuseness. So now the pattern variable which was discussed by Parson was being analyzed. The pattern variable not only defines the nature of role interaction and role expectation, it is the social system, but provide a addition to overall direction of the members of the social system. Choose their roles. It gives us an idea about the nature of the system. Okay, Rama, I will stop here because I have a meeting which a paper has come to me just now. So we can stop here in the 15th slide and we can take up next Monday. Okay. Rama. Hello. Okay, we will take up next week. A meeting has come. Immediately I have to go. Okay.